Okay guys, so here it is. So the first thing that I do when I am going to do my avocado paper is, of course, the avocado. You need the avocado peels, and once you take the meat out and everything, what I do is I take a small spoon and I kind of like clean it, like scrape off the excess little gunk that still remains on it, so you don't have so much gunk on the water, coming out of the water, and just put it all in there, pit and all, because the pit has something that helps with the color as well. And I have 2 small avocados here, and this pot is almost full because this is going to boil down. I'm going to boil this now for about an hour and a half, and halfway through the process I will come back and show you what it looks like. So I'm going to start boiling and I will show you what it looks like. Hi guys. Okay, so I let the avocado boil for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and this is the color that I ended up with. So as you can see, I got a really dark, like almost burgundy color. After it boiled, I took it from the pot and I used a sifter, like one of those strainers, not a sifter, a strainer, and I strained it into this container just in case it had little bits of whatever the avocado might have, any kind of pulp or anything. Sifted it into here and I let it cool. Now I have a tray here, as you can see, and I put a little bit here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab some paper. And I'm not gonna do a lot because I already have some, but I'm gonna show you. Now, a lot of people take the paper and they just use a bigger tray and they let it sit for, some people let it sit for overnight, but I'm not gonna do that. I find that I get enough color doing it this way. I find that my paper is easier to tear if I let it sit longer than this. So all I do is I put it in my solution and I carefully, go like this, very carefully, and then I just grab it and I lay it. And do the same for this one. Now, if you're going to use a thicker paper, this is a 24-pound paper. It's the paper that I like to work with. If you're going to use a thicker paper, then you probably can let it sit longer in your solution. But I'm using a 24-pound paper, so I find that doing it this way, it gives me a really nice color. And I just lay it right on top. And this way I don't run the risk of it tearing on me. And I'll just let that sit for probably half an hour, and I'll just grab it just as it is and put it in my oven. And I'll stack it in little bundles of 4, so that the drying process is faster. Like I said, I'm not going to do a lot because I have, a pretty decent stash of it already. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. But I think my sister's going to make some. My sister's going to start doing journals too. But she's going to be doing the golden books. Yeah, she's into it now, so she's going to be doing the golden books ones. So that's 4. So she's staying with me. She's living on my the mother-in-law suite where my mother-in-law used to stay, and so she's into junk journaling now. It's fun to have a crafty friend, a crafty person to journal with, you know, and share crafting with. So that's fun. And she's very crafty. She's always been very crafty, and she knits and crochets. So she's been crocheting me some doilies and stuff, and she crochets them so fast, it's crazy. That was one thing that I was never able to do. I was never able to crochet or knit or nothing like that. She would make like booties and sweaters and stuff for my kids when they were little, and blankets and all kinds of things. I was never able to learn that. And she does it with her eyes closed. Watching TV, she'll do it. And she'll know what. I wish I could, but I can't. So this is how I do it. Very easy, but it gives you such a nice color because it gives you like a very antique, like dusty rose, you know. I love it. So this is 4, and we'll do, let's finish up this little pack here. I might just do a bundle of 5 because I think I have like 2 more sheets, and then I'm going to show you how I do my my index cards and stuff. Because the index cards is one thing, you do have to let that one sit because they're thicker. So that you have to let sit, because I tried doing the index cards the way that I do the paper, and it did not. It really didn't take the color very well. Let's see. I probably should have used a bigger tray, but I just grabbed the first thing I put my hands on from underneath my cabinet. But you can see here, I'll bring you closer in a minute so you can see how it's already turning. Let's see. Okay. Now, index cards. My sister found these, and they're like, you know, the graph index card. Now, I don't know if once I dunk these, the graph lines are going to disappear. We'll see. But these you do have to let sit at least an hour, because it's like cardstock, so it needs to be in there in order to grab some of that color. Because if you pull these out right away, it's not going to do anything. So I'll just dunk it in, press it in, and I'm gonna leave it there for a good hour so I could get that really nice color. And I'm hoping that the graph doesn't disappear, but you know, it might. So we'll leave that there. I just want to make sure that, you know, it gets in there, because if it sticks, it won't get wet all over. So I just want to make sure. the paper gets wet everywhere. See, that's dry because the card sticks. So you want to make sure that you separate them so that the solution gets everywhere. And then I have these bigger index cards. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press it in, flip it, do the same thing, and I'll let this sit. Let's see. Yeah, I've had a full house for 2 weeks. My brother came for my birthday, and he stood for a whole week for the 4th of July week. And then I went and I picked up my nieces and nephews, but they go back on Wednesday. So it's been fun. We're going crabbing on Tuesday. They've never been crabbing, so I want to take them crabbing. That'll be fun. So, trying to work and then also spend time with family. So, alright, so these are going to stay there for about an hour. Alright, so I'm going to bring you back. Let me show you. You can see the color already. Sorry. See, the color is already grabbing on the paper. Zoom in. See the color? So, and then this. And I'm going to bring you back to show you when I bake them. Okay? I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to put them now in the oven. So I'm just going to carefully pick them up from a corner. I don't want to tear it. It's tricky. It's got to be an easier way. Got it. So I'm just going to drain off the excess onto my paper towel. But you can see the color, how pretty. I don't know if you can see. Let me see. Can you see it? I'll drain it into the pan. See the color? See? Alright, so I'm draining the excess. So see this little stack? I'm going to put that in the oven. And I'm baking at 360. Yeah, I'm very impatient, so put it in the oven at 360. Show you. I'll show you. 360 in there. And I put aluminum foil because I don't want the direct heat to come up, so I always put aluminum foil in my oven. So, alright, these are still there, getting colored. Let's see how this looks. So they're catching the color nicely. See? The index card, and so far I still have the line, so I'm very impressed, happy. And let's see the graph paper. Oh, the graph paper still has the nice graph on it. Oh, let's not jinx it. Alright, that's gonna stay there for a while. Alright, I'll bring you back once the paper is done. Okay guys, so I am done, and I brought you outside to see if I could get a better lighting, but I'm still getting washed out. The color, sorry about the cars. I'm still getting washed out. You're not getting the true color. But for those of you who have bought my junk journals, you guys can see the true color of these papers. It's a really nice vintage dusty rose. Let me see if I can get a really dark one. So So all I did was bake the paper at 3, I can't remember now. But if you want the paper even darker, you just let it sit for longer. I don't like the paper really dark. This is my preferred color. It's coming through very washed out, but it's a really nice pink, vintage pink. So this is what I've done, and I love the edges. So that is all you do. You know, it's a little bit of a process, but, and then let me show you the cards. I let the cards sit for about an hour, and the cards look really washed out, but they came out really nice. They did come out really nice this time, but of course you're not gonna get the full effect. And I didn't lose the lines, which I'm happy about. I don't know what index cards my sister bought, but I'm happy about that. See how they look? Now this is what happens when you dunk your index cards and they stick together. That's why you got to make sure that you separate them in the water, because they stuck together, so the liquid didn't go through, so I have a white spot. But that only happened with 2 of them. I guess these 2 stuck together. So, but you can see the difference. See that? So that's a good comparison as to how, you know, they look. So I'm pretty happy. So I hope you guys give it a try. If you have any questions, let me know. This is a really nice technique, and I love it, and I am happy with it, and I wish that I could really give you a full, you know, effect, but the camera never does it justice. So what can you do? If I can take a picture of it, I will, and I'll put it as a thumbnail so that you guys get the full effect. But maybe that way it will actually pick up the true color of these papers. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you like the video, give me a like, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.